G'day legends, it's Mark here from North Oz, and lately I've had a bit of a dilemma because the last time I took my Landcruiser to get a car wash, it actually ended up getting covered in paint because a building a couple of doors down from the car wash were using an air compressor and a spray bottle, and they were trying to paint the outside of their apartment. And because it was a windy day, my vehicle actually ended up getting covered in paint, and it also cost me quite a bit of money at the car washes because I have to use the manual wash. It actually takes a lot of money in the vending machine to be able to cover the entire vehicle because it's such a big vehicle, and I can't use the automatic wash because the rooftop tent and the canopy on the back and the roof rack, so I have to use the manual wash. It ends up being quite expensive, so that has kind of led me to doing my car washes here on the driveway, and sometimes, and a lot of the time, I actually don't end up using my pressure washer because it's so annoying to be able to get out of the corner of the garage and everything gets tangled. It's got 3 different cables, they all get tangled, and it's just not really worth the hassle. And as you guys know, if things aren't worth the hassle for me here, if I can't do something quickly, I just don't end up doing it at all. So here I've got a bit of a solution to that. I'm hoping it's going to work out really well. This is the Giraffe Tools Pressure Washer. So we're going to be unboxing this, installing this, and comparing it to my current car washing setup. And I'm hoping that this will solve the problem that I've had lately. So stick around, today is going to be a good one. Before we start the unboxing, I'd like to say thank you to Giraffe Tools for sponsoring today's video. And as always, for full transparency, Giraffe Tools provided me with a list of product features that they shared with me, but beyond that, they have no say in how I honestly review this product. With that out of the way, let's get into the unboxing of this pressure washer. The first bag at the top of the box includes all of the basic hardware needed to install this unit, as well as accessories for the pressure gun and a holder for the gun lance attachment, which I'll show you in more depth later in the video. Opening up this hardware bag, it was great to see the fittings are solid metal and of high quality, as you can see here. An instruction manual is included but not needed, as everything is easy enough to figure out. And finally, the pressure washer unit itself sits in the bottom of the box, protected by styrofoam. So with the pressure washer unboxed, my initial impressions of it are that it's a pretty solid unit, and I really like just a couple of little design features on it, especially on the front here. It's got this nice little carbon fiber plate there too, which will, jazz up the garage experience that we have here at North Oz. So the retraction on this is actually really good too. I had a little bit of a play around with that as well, and that's looking really, really solid as well, which is something that I really wanted. A lot of the things that I get that have retraction systems on it just don't. I have a hose, for example, and it doesn't really retract very well. So that was the first thing that I wanted to test, was how well that retracted, and that's a really solid mechanism. So now that this has been unboxed and I've given you my initial impressions, let's get this up on the wall so we can use it for our very first car wash. To install this unit, all that's needed is 4 holes in whatever surface you are mounting it to. As I say in all my videos, guys, if I can install it, you definitely can, because I'm not the handiest person around. For those of you who've watched the channel for some time now, you would know that. And for this install, I have chosen to actually cut some lengths of 2x4s that I screwed into the fence so I can mount this on my fence post. It may seem like an odd spot, but my brother will be using this next door as well, so the hose will stretch across both of our properties from end to end. I marked up and drilled some holes using the helpful mounting template, which was really appreciated. Then I installed the bolts for the bracket to sit on. I've mounted this loosely as I plan on making another mount on the opposite corner of the house, so I can use a pressure washer all over the property, but at this point you would tighten the bolt so the pressure washer bracket sits flush. Then all I had to do was put the pressure washer on the mount, install the hose that runs from the tap to the unit, and we are ready for our first car wash. So to show you how much better this new pressure washer unit is for me, I decided to film a side-by-side comparison of washing my Landcruiser, and we're going to be having a look and seeing what it's like washing with my current setup compared to our new setup. So to start, let's look at the setup and the pack up, and this is where I really noticed a big difference between the two setups. The new Giraffe Tools Pressure Washer is readily accessible on the fence and already has the hose attached to the unit, so all I have to do is clip the other end of the hose to the tap, plug in the power, and I'm ready to go. Compare this to my old setup, and I'm dragging it out of the storage section in the garage, and then I have to unravel the hose and connect that as well and fill up a bucket to wash the car. I no longer have to fill up a bucket because my new pressure washer actually has a soap pot that goes on with an attachment, and that's going to be part of the foam cannon, which I'll show you later on. Having the new pressure washer on the fence and ready to go has saved me 7 minutes on the setup and pack up alone. There's also the hassle factor as well, where if I have to mess around with something for too long and the can's heat, I just won't often use it, guys, and that's just the honest truth. And with this new washer, it definitely makes it a lot more accessible, so I'll definitely use it a lot more than my old pressure washer. All right, we are starting the side-by-side comparison now of my old washing setup to my new setup. And I ended up taking a similar amount of time to wash the vehicle for both setups, but I was actually able to wash more of the Landcruiser and more effectively, in the end slightly less time, with the GT pressure washer. As you'll see throughout the bottom clip, I kept getting the cords tangled with my old setup, which actually ended up drying the water on the Landcruiser and leaving water spots. So that actually didn't happen on the GT pressure washer. I also wasn't able to get as deep of a clean with the old setup, as it didn't come with any attachments to spray the car wash on, so this could only be done with a bucket. I didn't end up using the bucket for the new setup because all of the car wash was put on with the spray foam pot, and I would wash the mitt with the pressure washer end attachment lance anyway when it got dirty. I spent a minute taking photos of the foam cannon as well, so hence a little cut in the top clip for those of you who spotted that. But comparing the two washers, the GT pressure washer did a much better job, as the spray foam actually ended up softening the dirt a lot more than just using the water and the mitt and the bucket method. So that ended up working out really well. I also could have made this process a lot faster by not using the wash mitt, but using this method actually created a really good result, and it is the cleanest I have seen this paint since I got it new. One thing that really stood out to me after using both methods of washing was how hassle-free the Giraffe Tools Pressure Washer was. I don't think I can go back to using my old setup because of how much I have to constantly move the old pressure washer to reach different sections of the vehicle, and if I'm using it on my house, it's the exact same thing, and then everything just gets tangled anyway, so you spend half your time stuffing around with the old pressure washer. But the GT pressure washer just had the one hose, and the unit stayed where it was. It actually ended up cutting down on noise too, as the unit was meters away from where I was spraying. So that was really appreciated as well. So now let me show you in a bit more detail how this new pressure washer actually works and how I have been using it around the house. So I just want to show you guys a few of the features that I just haven't been able to get around to showing you just yet. So this little rack thing is pretty cool as well, just kind of holds the end here. So this is kind of how it's all set up. I've shown you that, so I'll turn all that on and get it all ready to roll, because I haven't been using it for a little while. So now this, I just kind of keep my my soap bottle here all kind of filled up, and in a big car wash I'll use probably about half of this. So, and I'd need to dilute it down just a little bit more than what I did last time, because it actually doesn't need too much car wash in there. Surprisingly, it does a really good job of foaming everything up. So I'm going to fully extend this hose, or come close to it anyway, because it'll actually run from one side of my house all the way to the other. And a big reason why I installed it here as well is because my brother lives next door, and I can just pass this over the fence to him, or he can come around and grab it. So he can actually, we can use this actually in two houses, which is pretty cool, which is why I kind of put it in a bit of an awkward spot. But again, it has a reason for being here. So we're going to fully extend this out. So I'm going to turn it on, fully extend it out. Another thing as well I want to show you was this bracket as well rotates. So you can actually put it in whatever kind of orientation that you want. So it locks out that way, comes over this way, locks out that way, comes over this way, and locks out that way. So that's kind of pretty cool. You get it directed where you need it to go. So I'm just going to face it forward. And then we're going to extend it out to the other side of the house where we have actually something to clean. So we're going to turn it on. And we're going to bring it out. And while we're here, actually, again, kind of doing this as we go, you can see how it just retracts unless you give it a bit of a tug. So over here, there are a few different nozzles that you can put on here. So I've actually got the 25 degree on here, which I was using for the car washing part of this video. And there's also the 40. So the white one and the green one will probably be the ones that I use the most. And then there's a 15 degree and a 0 degree. So obviously for a sharper sort of a jet, which I won't use on my car, obviously. But they swap out pretty quickly and pretty easily. So I'll show you how it works. So pretty much all you do is just pull it and then it comes out. So that's pretty much all there is to it. So you can put that off to the side, and I'll chuck the 40 degree one on here, show you how it works. Just like that. done, and then you're pretty much swapped over, ready to go. And on the inside of there, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but there is a lot of ball bearings, and the fitment is really, really solid. So really happy with how the hardware has kind of come across. Like the finishing touches on this product is amazing. Just like here as well, like all of the, I was telling my brother when he came over before, that all these fitments and all these fittings and all these hoses, they're all really high quality. So yeah, very impressed with the quality so far, guys. Super impressed. All right, so we're going to bring this all the way out, and we have a window to clean. So I'll show you how far it kind of extends out. So we'll keep bringing this. Now, the front of my block here, the house, is 20 meters. So we'll pretty much be able to get from one end of the block to the other. Here we are, still going, still going, still going, still going, still going, and we're at the end of the block of my house. So there we go. You do need to give it a little bit of a tug just to lock it in as well, which was something that I figured out. But it's nothing too crazy to figure out. And as you guys can see, we've got a little bit of dirt here. I actually started cleaning one of the windows, and I thought, that'd actually make a good idea to show how it works on the video. So we're just gonna give this a little bit of a clean. It's just a little bit dirty from whippersnipping and lawn mowing and stuff like that. So we're just gonna give it a quick wash, and we'll see how it turns out. And there we go. So just for a quick wash, I think it turned out pretty good. And if I spent a little bit more time on it and gave it a bit more of a scrub, I think it would definitely come up a lot better. And I think probably using the 30 degree would probably be better for the windows. But yeah, overall, really happy with how that turned out in such a short amount of time. And because it's like so easy to access, which is one of the big things that I guess, that makes this product appealing to me. Because it's so easy to access, you can just kind of pick it up, take it off the roll, and just clean things as you see them. So it's not so much of a big deal having to try and get out the other pressure washer that I have and get that out of its little storage spot, because you don't use it that often, because it is a hassle to get out. So it's and then untangle it and do what you have to do. So it's all very easy to get to, and yeah, and I guess like ease of access is a massive selling point for this. So Giraffe Tools have done a really good job of just making this an easy to use product. You can just, retract it, get it out, put it back in, all in a short amount of time. And as you can see, that retraction system works really, really well. It's really quick. And then we're done. So yeah, pretty cool system. Everything works pretty easily, and none of the fittings are too stiff or anything like that. So when you pack it up, it's like nothing's a drama, like nothing's too difficult. So yeah. So on days like today where the temperature's a little bit over 34, 35 degrees Celsius, it's every little job that you have to do, especially like around the house, washing the cars, etc. It's a bit of a hassle, and the less time that you're out in the heat doing things, the better, especially up here in Cairns. So one of the things that I can say about the Giraffe Tools Pressure Washer is that how easy it is to use. It's always ready to go. All I have to do is just plug it into the hose and plug it into the power point, and there's no cords or anything kind of getting tangled up. So that was one of the things that I really appreciated about having this, is that it's not a hassle. So for me, if anything's a hassle, I just won't use it. So I don't really use a pressure washer that I had before very much, because it had a spot in the corner of the garage because it was too much of a hassle for me to get out. So it's a little bit of a vicious cycle. So for me, I really like having this here because it's just convenient, ready to use, and because it's near my hose, I can just easily use this instead of using my hose, and I will get a much better result on my now nice clean Landcruiser. So little things like that that just make this, you know, a really good tool that I'm going to use a lot, and you will see it in a lot of upcoming videos as well, just because of how useful it is. So I just want to say a big thank you to Giraffe Tools as well for sponsoring today's video. This was something that I'm actually going to use a lot, so we're not just doing this video for the sake of doing it. This is actually a tool that I really want, and actually something I'm very passionate about, because, you know, obviously keeping my vehicles clean and keeping the house clean as well is a big priority of ours here at North Oz. So guys, if you want to purchase this exact model pressure washer, then you can go ahead and use the discount code up here on the screen and pick yourselves up one of these at a discounted rate. So that's a pretty cool thing that Giraffe Tools are doing for us here and for the viewers here on North Oz. So guys, if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I'm really excited about this, and again, I just want to give a nice big thank you to Giraffe Tools for sending this one out. And guys, apart from that, I've got a few more things to clean around the house here, so I'm going to get back to it, and until then, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.